Hello, fellow Terps, and welcome to the University of Maryland. My name is Eliza Scally, and I am the current graduate assistant for the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Library, better known as the STEM Library. We've put the following video together for you as a brief introduction to the STEM Library's resources, and we hope that it will help you to become comfortable navigating these resources from a distance until we can reopen. To begin, I will introduce you to some of the rudimentary features of the library website and the research commons. Then Sarah Over, our engineering librarian, will demonstrate how to search the online catalog and request items through InterLibrary alone. Next, Jody Coulter, our life sciences librarian, will show you how to use the database finder, access databases, and cite materials from those databases. Finally, James Weber, our library services supervisor, will introduce you to the STEM Library's on-site resources. Naturally, this video will not be able to cover everything, so please don't hesitate to reach out for additional support if you need it.
With that in mind, let me start by showing you how you can reach us. I'm currently on the UMD Library main page. This navigation bar at the top is accessible on all UMD Library pages. If you're on a mobile device, these items are collapsed into a hamburger icon in the upper right corner. When you select Libraries and Spaces, you will see a list of all the libraries on our campus, as well as other significant locations, including the Research Commons. We'll come back to that in a bit. If you would like to get in touch with STEM librarians or staff, select the STEM Library, which will take you to our homepage. Go to the menu on the left side of the page. If you're on a mobile device, the left side menu collapses into a bar below the library search function. So under the About Us tab, select Staff. Here you'll find a chart that indicates whom you should contact based on the topic of your question. For instance, if you have a question about student employment, you could contact our library coordinator, Pinar Bego, or our library services supervisor, James Weber. Like it says here, if you're still unsure whom to contact, you can email stemlibs@umd.edu, which is our general email address. The entire staff sees these emails, and the person best suited to answer your question will respond. Discipline-specific questions should be sent to the librarian who specializes in your discipline, otherwise known as a subject specialist. You can find all the subject specialists whose offices are located in the STEM Library listed here with their contact information and their disciplines of focus. I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you now.
I'm Jim Miller. I'm the Patent and Trademark Librarian. I help faculty, staff, and students, and also people from the general public.
And I'm Jody Coulter. I'm the Life Sciences Librarian. My departments include biology, cell biology and molecular genetics, entomology, geology, life sciences, and neuroscience and cognitive science.
I'm Nidelina Tsangalava, a public health librarian, and I'm the subject specialist for family science, behavioral science, and any other medical and health-related disciplines.
I'm Svetla Boykusheva. I'm the librarian for chemistry and the life sciences.
Hello, I'm Nevenka Zdravkovska, and I'm the head of the STEM Library and also subject librarian for computer science, mathematics, physics, atmospheric and oceanic sciences. And I'm also dealing with the standards and technical reports.
I'm Sarah Over. I'm the engineering librarian, and my subjects include all 8 engineering departments from aerospace through mechanical.
And those are our subject specialists. Thanks, everyone. If you think you have a pretty straightforward question, you can send your subject specialist an email. However, if you need more in-depth support, you would probably be better served by a real-time consultation. To schedule a meeting with your subject specialist, click the Schedule a Consultation button in their contact listing. So I'm going to schedule an appointment with our engineering librarian, Sarah Over. When the scheduling box appears, select the day and time of your preference, and then continue. If you've realized you made an error, you can go back by selecting Change Appointment Details. Otherwise, complete your personal details, the starred ones are required, and confirm the appointment. After you click this button, a confirmation email will be sent to the email address you provided above, and you can close the confirmation box. In addition to our subject specialists, another resource you should be aware of is the Research Commons. As you might remember, we can access the Research Commons from the navigation bar under Libraries and Spaces. If you look at the menu on the left, or at the top if you're on a mobile device, Under Services, you will notice that the Research Commons includes the GIS and Spatial Data Center and Media Lab, and services such as statistical consulting, data and text mining, and systematic reviews. The Research Commons also holds engaging events, including the STEM Library's STEAM Salon series, and skill-building workshops on topics such as citation management, data science, and GIS. For now, all consultations, events, and workshops are being delivered remotely. The Research Commons has a lot to offer, so I encourage you to explore these resources further to determine how they can best support your interests. Now that you know how to get in touch with us if you have questions, next up is our engineering librarian, Sarah Over.
This video contains an overview of using the library's catalog and requesting materials from InterLibrary Loan. The overview also contains search tips for the catalog and highlights finding electronic resources. We start on the library's homepage, or the STEM Library homepage as this example uses, and start our search in the WorldCat search box. Let's do a search first on exoplanets. Now that we have our results, let's start to examine them. And we already have some ebooks on this topic. Before we go further, let's take a look at what is on the page besides these resources. At the top, we have the number of results, and off to the left, we have different ways to refine this search. The default in a basic search is to show relevant results that UMD owns first. This is called sorting by library. There are a few other options available here, but we'll keep it on library for now. The other things that you can filter by include who holds it, the different formats, content type, publication year, and more. On this search, we're going to use the publication year filter. And let's pick the last 5 years, since exoplanets is a more recent topic, with all the discoveries being made by satellites currently. So we'll look at our refreshed results, and the second result on the Handbook of Exoplanets looks like a good result. So we just click on View eBook, and it brings up the ebook for us to view. If you're not already signed in or using the VPN, you may have to use your single sign-on two-factor authentication before viewing the ebook. Ebooks will vary in how you can access them. Some can only be accessed in your browser, while others may offer options for downloading some or all of the book, like this one does, where you can see the PDF icons. If you're using a screen reader or have other needs, and the access version of the ebook does not work for you, just let us know and we'll be happy to help. Now, let's move on to another search, and we'll go over how to use InterLibrary Loan, also called ILL for short. ILL is a way libraries share resources with one another, and it has some limitations, but it is free to you, the user. In the search box, I'll replace exoplanets with avian anatomy. And let's get some results. Since we did not use the option to use the same filters for subsequent searches, we're back to searching for any year, which is clear by the first result being a 1964 publication. Let's examine these results a bit. As I go through the results, I find out that one of them is covering dinosaurs. But when I started this search, I was thinking about birds in the conventional sense, birds that we have today. So we see up at the top that it says, we expanded your search to include related terms. If we want to only search for avian anatomy, we just click on that. And we're back to only finding avian anatomy. And the dinosaur result is no longer there. Since I want to demonstrate ILL, I'm going to refine the search further since it's a more specific topic that you'll be likely to need ILL. I'm going to add loon to my search, which is a type of bird that is found in the wild in many parts of the US. So the results definitely seem a little less relevant since it's showing us UMD results first. So we're going to use that sort by and pick best match to get the most relevant results. Okay, so now we have some new results, and I scroll down to the results. I think that this one, called Fowler Zoo and Wild Animal Medicine, is a good result for this topic to get an idea about loons, since it talks about wild animals. Before I make the ILL request, the easiest way is just to click on the title to get more detailed information. Then, under the Check Availability section, you'll go to Request Item through InterLibrary Loan, which is right before the list of all the places that own it. So you click on this, and you'll be asked to choose your campus affiliation, and assuming you're not a joint borrower, if you're a regular student, faculty, staff, etc., you just click on the first one. And if you've never used InterLibrary Loan before you get to this page, it'll ask you to confirm your information and finish setting up your account. Once you do that, you'll get to this request an ebook page. Since I'm already signed in, we're all set. After checking that the information is correct, the title, author, etc., then we pick the date that we need it by, and you can add any special instructions for the staff to review. But this is rare, and it'll slow your request as much of the system is automated. Then you submit your request, which I'm not going to do right now since I don't need this book, and it'll take you back to the main menu where you'll be able to see your outstanding requests. I don't have any right now, and it'll give you status on any ILL requests you make. Note that not all ebook requests will be able to be fulfilled. Our ILL staff will do their best, but we do keep to copyright and publisher agreements that may restrict the sharing of some ebooks. You will hear from the staff if they have a problem, and you may only be able to get a chapter or two in that case instead of the whole book. This whole process can also be used to request an article from ILL, but you can also do it directly in ILL without using the catalog if you found the article somewhere else. Just click on the Request an Article or Chapter link and you'll be taken to that form. If you have a citation or a DOI, you can use autofill to fill out the information. But if you don't, that's okay. Just fill out the information you have, and then you go and pick the date when you need it by, you pick the type, and if you'll accept an open access version. If you don't know about open access, that's okay. You can always click on this for information, and then again, you have any special instructions. Once you submit the request, it'll be back under that main menu again for outstanding requests. Once it's fulfilled, you'll find your electronically received PDF here in this top section under electronically received articles. They'll typically be available for about a month that you have to read them and download them. That's it on ILL. This was a brief introduction to searching the catalog and using ILL, but know that the libraries are always available to help you when you need it. Happy researching.
Thanks, Sarah. Next, we'll hear from our life sciences librarian, Jody Coulter.
Hello, my name is Jody Coulter. I'm the life sciences librarian here at the University of Maryland, and my office is normally located in the STEM library, though during COVID, I'm working almost entirely from home. I'm going to take you through a quick tour of our online database collections. We have hundreds of databases that have peer-reviewed journals on everything from architecture to zoology, and knowing what database to use can be daunting. So today I'm going to show you, first of all, how to access the database finder, how to search for databases and access their content. I'm going to show you some of the standard STEM databases, such as IEEE and Web of Science. And then I'm also going to teach you how to use the citation features on those databases, which will become pretty helpful for you. So let's get started. First, we're going to go to the library's homepage, which is right here. It's lib.umd.edu. At the top of the page, you can see that there are two search bars. There's this search bar on the right-hand side. That searches the entire website. And this one on the left searches our catalog, as Sarah showed you or will show you. And it also searches our database. This might look a little bit different depending on what kind of device you're on and what your browser looks like, or if you're on a cell phone, for example, but it will always say database sort of in this red tab here. So we're going to click on that tab, and now we're going to search for any database. If you know what database you need already, so for example, if you know that you need IEEE, you can just quickly type in IEEE in the search bar and hit enter, and it will take you to that IEEE entry in our database finder, which is right here. I'm going to go back to the home page, and if you don't know what database you need for a specific subject, let's say aerospace engineering, you can click on the link just beneath the search bar here. This will take you to a page where you can browse databases by a variety of features. For example, we can search a database by subject, and there's browse database by subject. Here at the top, you see we have 19 databases that feature aerospace engineering articles, books, and more. When I click on this link, I'm taken to the aerospace engineering list. At the top, we can see a few databases that are highlighted in yellow here. These databases are probably going to bring the best information for general searches in aerospace engineering. So if you don't know which database to use, try those first. But if we scroll down, we see that there are a ton of other databases. You can use them at any time. If we scroll down just a little bit farther. For now, I'm going to use IEEE. It's one of the biggest databases, one of the most heavily used databases that we have on campus, and there's a good chance that a lot of you will be using this database in the future. If you are on campus, you can access this database anywhere just by using your campus Wi-Fi. But if you're off campus, you may need to use the reload button. This reload button can be found by searching the general library website for reload button and following the instructions on the research guide. Basically, the reload button tells the database that you're using that you belong to the university, that we've paid for a subscription for you. So all you have to do is hit the reload button that you've dragged and dropped into your toolbar, and it will prompt you to log in using your university credentials. Let me see if it's going to prompt me to do this. Yes, so right away, you can see it takes me here to the university credentials. I'm gonna log in really quick. Okay, so now at the top here, you see that access is provided by the University of Maryland. That means that you've signed in with your university account and you can now access all of the content that we subscribe to in IEEE. So at the top here, you can see a search bar and you can pretty much type anything in that search bar that you're looking for. If you use a phrase, I encourage you to always put that phrase in quotes. It just tells the database you're looking for those words in that order. I'm gonna do a quick search here. We're gonna type in 3D printing, and you see that I've put that in quotes and I hit enter, and right away I get back a few results. We've got about 2,500 results here for 3D printing as a phrase. You can either filter the results by content type at the top, so you can filter by conference proceedings or journal articles. You can also filter on the left side here. You can filter by year, you can filter by affiliation, publisher, all of this good stuff. This helps you just sort of narrow down your results. I'm going to click on this first article here. And on this homepage for this article, you can do a couple of things. You can read the abstract to see if the article will actually help you with your research. You can download the full PDF so that you can read the entire article. You can also cite this item. Now, when I click on this cite button, it will automatically format the citation for you in IEEE style. You can also export to an RIS file to your citation manager. If you don't know what a citation manager is, I strongly encourage you to check these out. They're going to save you a ton of time. We have a couple of tutorials for them on our website. All you have to do is search our website for citation managers or Zotero or EndNote, whichever one works, and it will pop right up. And in this case, it will give you both the citation and the abstract. It's also probably important to note that IEEE has some standards that you can search for, especially if you're in engineering. You do that by going up here to the Browse and the Standards button right here. When I do that, you can browse these by collection, by number, by topic, etc. Basically, all of their standards content is right here on this landing page. So that was IEEE. I'm going to show you Web of Science now, which is another big database that is frequently used by STEM disciplines. I'm going to go back to the library homepage. And again, if you're looking for the reload button, or if you're looking for the citation managers, you would do a search in this search box up here. But because we're going to be looking for a database, we're going to click on the database finder. In the search box, because we know that we want to find Web of Science, I'm going to type in Web of Science and click on the Web of Science link. So the first thing you might notice is that this database looks similar to IEEE, right? You have a search box at the top. You maybe have some advanced search features if you want them right here. This format is used honestly by many databases. And although functionality may differ widely across databases, this is generally how they'll look. Many of them will have very similar features, okay? So we are going to type the same phrase, again using quotes, into the search box, and we're going to hit enter. You see at the top of the results page that we get about 18,000 articles back, right? That's kind of a lot. So just like EEE, we have a lot of these filter options on the left by publication year, for example, by highly cited in the field, by category, document type. So whereas IEEE had the document types at the top, Web of Science has them along the left side here, organization and other filters. At the top, you see that these articles are actually sorted by date. I'm going to switch this to times cited, highest to lowest. And now on the right-hand side here, you see all of these times cited stats, right? So the articles at the top are the most cited articles published in this field. So you see this one has 2,147 citations. This has 1,475 citations. These are very highly cited papers. Why is this important? Well, if a paper gets cited a lot, chances are it's a very influential paper in the field, probably one of the most influential papers in the field. And that means that it's foundational, right? It's foundational to that topic. And it might be very useful for you to read it. When I click on this entry, it takes me to a page that is, again, similar to IEEE. I can download the PDF or find it from University of Maryland. I can export the citation to a citation manager. That's right here. On the right side, you will see a lot of links to other papers. So you basically see all of these articles that have cited this paper. You see all of the articles that this paper cited. If you find one article that is really fundamental to your research, let's say that this 3D bioprinting of tissues and organs is very fundamental to your research, it's a good idea to take a look at their reference and to take a look at who referenced them. This not only gives you a good idea about why they came to the conclusions that they came to and the science that came before them and that they sort of built onto, but it also shows the research that they inspired. So everybody who cited them used some part of their paper in their own science. So you can kind of see where the science is going in the future. This was a very brief overview of some of our database collections. We have a lot more interesting stuff to show you in the actual library. So when we reopen, you will be able to come in and stop in and see us. But for now, if you have any questions, you are welcome to reach out to any of us, myself included. You can find me in the library directory. My name is Jody Coulter, and have a wonderful first semester.
Thanks, Jody. Now James Weber is going to finish this tour off for us.
Welcome to the STEM Library. My name is James Weber, and I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the STEM Library's in-person services. As of right now, our physical space is closed to patrons during the pandemic. However, we'll have a skeleton crew providing bare bones versions of our services. We'll be emptying book drops and scanning articles from our collection for patrons who use our Article Express service. We will also be pulling items to be retrieved through the curbside pickup service at McKeldin. Though we are unsure when we'll be back open and at full capacity, the following is what awaits when we finally are. On the first floor, you'll find the library services desk. It's the first desk when you walk in. This is where you'll complete a lot of traditional library tasks, such as checking out and returning books, ILLs, and reserve items. Any equipment, such as laptops, headphones, and calculators, are also available at the library services desk. A few unique items that we have are our anatomical models, which include our 2 skeletons, one of which you saw earlier, and muscle models. We also provide toolkits, which contain things like hammers, saws, levels, clamps, wrenches, and even some soldering equipment. And of course, the first floor is also home to our desktop workstations, copying and printing services. The STEM Library Makerspace provides access to training and instruction on how to use 3D printers, laser cutters, and our augmented reality sandbox, which allows you to study and model topography and geography in real time. The second floor is home to all the books, the laptop lounge, and our GIS, statistical consulting, and patents and trademarks services. Finally, the third and last floor holds our print collection and some rooms for study. If you have questions about any of the in-person services, either during the pandemic or beyond it, please feel free to contact stemlibs@umd.edu. That's stemlibs@umd.edu.